How did we get here? I'll start off by saying I think ugly people are supposed to be ugly. Hey, sue me. I can explain this a little deeper for you guys, right? It's a little out of context, I know. But you know what they say? God gives his hardest battles to his strongest soldiers. And some of us are strong enough to be ugly. Let's dig a little deeper right now. So this topic has came about due to me watching Love Island. I don't know what it's done to me, but Love Island has unlocked hidden potential in my mind. I've came up with my own theory, and I call it the Ugly Matrix. It may not make sense now, but you guys will understand this by the end of the video. Let me cook, please. Let me cook. There's this woman on Love Island. Her name is Huda. Huda is, I perceive to be, mentally and emotionally unstable, which is okay. There's mentally and unstable. Actually, it's not okay, actually. If you were to ask the internet, a lot of people will say she's going through something difficult. She's going through something. Leave her be. As she verbally abuses everybody around her. I don't really understand it. If someone's going through something mentally and they commit a crime, they still have to live with the crime that they committed with. We don't say they went through something mentally, leave them alone. No, we lock them up. So yes, I understand she may be going through something. However, I could point that shit out if I want to. Now, Huda, she's an attractive woman. The way that she acts doesn't make sense to me until my girlfriend brought me a picture. And the picture was a before and after picture of Huda. I don't think she's done a lot of things to her body, but there are a couple of things that she has done. One, I believe, is lip filler. I'm not sure on that one. I think that one's just based off my eyes. And a nose job. Now, the before picture gave me a mental awakening. It made me understand her just a little bit more, right? It made me be like, I get why you act the way that you act. And it's because you grew up ugly. And she wasn't like ugly, but you know what I mean? You know what I mean? So she grew up ugly, and that is the reason that she acts the way that she acts. That's why she has such a overbearing attachment style, right? And very anxious, very, you know, outburst-like attachment style. And the fact that she went from ugly to attractive is what I chuck it off to. And it wasn't I grew up and slowly became more attractive. It was I became attractive overnight. Now Huda's body, you know, she goes to the gym, she does all the stuff for that, right? So kudos to her on that one. Now on my Ugly Matrix, what Huda did was this right here. You see that? This is an unnatural thing to do. You for ugly, right? This is ugly. This is attractive. This is attractive. She went from ugly to attractive unnaturally. And when that happens, you don't build the mental fortitude as someone that became attractive over time. The slow mental change of becoming more attractive. And because of that, what I believe, this is all hypothesis. Like I said, she became attractive too fast. At the end of the day, you laid on a table, woke up the next day, and whatever your insecurity was, you no longer had to deal with it. People that go and get surgeries to become more attractive, I feel like they fall into their insecurities. You know what I'm saying? They weren't able to live with the insecurities that they had anymore. And that says something about your character, right? It doesn't necessarily have to be completely bad, but it does say something about your character. So she still acts as a person that is unattractive. Imagine waking up tomorrow, you're the most handsomest or most beautiful girl in the world.
Dead meat. What it is?
Now, when you start talking to somebody that you perceive to be out of your league, you are going to grab onto them so hard, you're gonna choke them to death. That's just a natural thing that happens. You can't really blame her for that, which is understandable. Now, when it comes to my Ugly Matrix, all of these have pros and cons. The pros and the cons of ugly to ugly. This is a person that grew up ugly and became ugly, which is diabolical, right? It's pretty, it fucking sucks. However, you have built yourself a personality that can hold up being ugly. You're probably funny, You're probably more charismatic. You had to find other ways to be attractive other than being attractive, which is okay. Me personally, growing up, I felt like I was ugly. I don't think that I was ugly. I just perceived myself as being ugly, which in turn makes me grow up ugly. Life is based off your perception, gang. Everything that you perceive is true. At the end of the day, I grew up as an ugly kid, even though I don't actually think I was an ugly kid. I was a small kid. I wouldn't equate that to being ugly. I would say that's more towards having a unattractive trait, which is being short. I remember on my first day of middle school, and this is etched into my brain for life. I can never forget this moment. I walked into school, I had a big book bag on, huge book bag. I have all my books in there. I have everything that I could possibly ever need in school inside of this gigantic book bag. I remember I was walking to class and I dropped something and I did a front flip. I did a literal front flip as I was trying to pick up the thing that I dropped. And mentally, I fucking shattered after that moment. I feel like I was never the same after that moment. It almost seems like no one saw it happen, but it had to be the most embarrassing thing I've like ever experienced at that point in time. I got nightmares about that shit, bro. Over time, as I've gotten older, I've became more comfortable with myself, and then I've found myself more attractive, which made other people around me find myself more attractive. A lot of the things that people perceive is based off the things that we say. I remember I had my first ever job. I wasn't that fucking happy, but I was happy to make money, and it was working at Michael's. It was an arts and crafts store, right? And there was this girl that I worked with. She was always like, just like, you know, bothering me. Whenever she would come up to me, she'll be like, "What are you doing?" And I would be like, "I'm not doing nothing. I'm just over here chilling in the back. I'm not doing nothing." So me saying that made her feel like I didn't do anything. Like I didn't do my job. You know what I mean? When I did my job every single day when I came to work, I did my job. But the fact that I made it seem like I didn't, she thought I didn't. And then literally everyone else at the job started to feel like I didn't do shit. My manager would walk up to me, see me working, and be like, "Oh, that's good. You're working. You're doing your job." I've been doing my job the whole time. But I told everyone that I wasn't. And that's why everyone perceived me to not do my job, even when I was doing it. And that was a quick lesson that I had to learn when growing up. You tell other people how to treat you, right? So me telling them I wasn't doing anything, I don't do anything, made them perceive that I wasn't doing anything. Now, the same thing goes for attractiveness. It's all about how you see yourself. That's how other people start to see you as well. Always move with confidence, right? Confidence is very, very powerful. Drop a like if you guys want to see me explain the rest of my ugly matrix right here. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, all that other shit. And I love you guys. Peace. Also, if you want to get these back here, go to bagboytoys.com. This is kind of hard, don't cap? Come on, this is kind of hard. So I recently started that company about 2 weeks ago. So definitely go cop one of those. They are super fire. Art toys. Don't they look fucking lit? But anyway, I love you guys. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, all that other shit, and peace.